Hey, what is up everybody? How are you guys doing? Thanks for checking out this video. Check out my channel. Any support is awesome. Much appreciated. And yeah, I want to talk a little bit today about a lot of things have happened. A lot of things have happened since I started prepping. So I want to go back and kind of talk about when I started prepping and where we are today. My first interaction with kind of getting the mindset, because it's all about the mindset, was 2006 into 2007, in that range. That was when the great financial crisis happened. Everybody pins it at 2008. All my troubles were the end of 2006 into 2007. So I ended up losing my job. I lost my business. I had a personal chef business. Not gonna say too much about that, but lost my business and had to think in the preparedness mindset. Now, what I went to do is go drive a truck. I thought, what is the last thing that is gonna go when people lose money? It's going to be driving a truck. It's going to be the delivery of goods. Things are always going to flow. Goods are always going to be taken to stores. Fuel is always going to be delivered to gas stations and truck stops and all this stuff. There's always going to be a place for driving a truck. So that is kind of my first mentality realization of preparedness. And I can't even say that because I wasn't thinking about preparing. I was just making a rational decision on things that are going to be uncertain in the future. I changed my career. I gave up something that I love. I love cooking. I love being in a kitchen. I don't like the management of it, but I love being in a kitchen. I love making people happy. I like entertainment to some extent, which restaurants are in fact entertainment. It's a luxury that we have. But I mean, earlier on, I was into music and playing on stages and stuff like that. So I've just always had that entertainment aspect in my personality. So after that, a whole lot didn't happen until about 2010. And I met somebody that was a full-blown prepper. And I was pretty close to him as a friend. And yeah, he didn't let me know a whole lot. I was kind of in his circle for a little bit, and I made too much fun of him. Yeah, I made fun of preppers. He had enough of it and kicked me out of his circle, and I was never going to be a part of his preparedness when I once was. I didn't really care at that point. But that was my first interaction with a actual prepper. And yeah, I used to always make fun of them. It wasn't until, well, 2020. And if you've heard in like some of my past videos and past content, I worked in a retail business, in transportation. I basically delivered products to stores, whether it was Dollar General, Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart's, grocery stores, gas stations, all that kind of stuff. I was an essential worker during COVID. Now, I always thought something was weird with COVID. Something wasn't adding up right. And then all the information came out to where if you die in a car accident, well, you died of COVID. If you remember all that, how crazy that was. I started realizing, yeah, you know, something's not right. Something's not right. And then we got the stimulus checks. And I honestly felt that should have never happened. If the economy was going to crash because of their stupid decisions, let it crash. You know, that would be a hard decision because, of course, it's going to affect the world. But I was like, yeah, I mean, we don't need rewarded for being taken advantage of, which is what I feel happened. The whole pandemic thing, we were just, I felt like I was in a test dummy or something, a lab rat. I just kind of felt like that. Not even over the vaccinations or over the control, but just, well, I guess it was over the control. But it wasn't like with vaccinations and medical. it was just scary to see that people can say, you stay where you're at, don't move, do this, do that, do that. And if you don't, you're going to be punished. You're going to lose your job. You're going to be refused services or refused food or whatever. We all live through it, we know. But that was a big eye opener for me. That's when I basically became a prepper. I made that decision back then. And I didn't even call it being a prepper. I think I wanted to stay away from that stigma, that title of being a prepper. And I didn't even want to think about me as being a prepper. I kind of went back to my friend earlier, 12 years earlier. And I was like, yeah, I am not that guy. I'm not that guy. I mean, he was a little doomsday prepper-ish, if that makes sense to you. But, yeah, I'm like, no, but I think we need to start putting some canned food in that shelf that we're not using just to have it, I think a lot of people became preppers during COVID. But for me, that was the main turning point. And along with, food shortage, I mean, everything that we dealt with. It was the financial checks, the stimulus checks that they were rolling out. And Donald Trump's the one that did it. He started the whole ball rolling. And it just kept going with Biden. Our economy was hurting. The stock market was down. We were looking at a possible recession. We were looking at shutdowns. We were looking at a lot of stuff going on. And I'm like, why is the government spending $1, $2, $3 trillion to keep us fat and happy? Something ain't right, and I don't like this. And I almost got my check and just gave it to somebody that actually needed it. But I'm like, no, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in my fund for a down payment and leave it at that. But I felt a little guilty taking it. But I did take it and I did spend it, and it paid for, this garage that I'm in right now. So I guess it worked out okay. It was a very small chunk, but now that alone was enough to decide I'm going to start prepping. I'm going to start putting some stuff back. At least food, a little bit of cash, things like that, just to make life a little bit easier when times get tough. But since then, there's been a lot going on. I mean, even just right after that, we have the murder hornets, if you remember that. Let's make murder hornets great again. Let's make those times great again. Yeah, COVID sucked. I actually lost my father with COVID, if that's even what it was. I think it was. But that did suck in that era. But I think we're going to be praying for those times again. Since the pandemic, we have had the rise of Antifa. We have had the rise of protesting even more. I mean, for me, protesting started back in 1992, if you know what happened in 1992. Kind of the BLM type movement. But it's been on a rise. We got that Hamas protest, or whatever you want to call it, pro-Palestine protest. Now, I'm going to trigger every word in this video. That's going strong. And we even have a threat of the other side of it stepping up. The pro-Israel group stepping up. We always have that threat of social unrest. But other things, since then we had Russia getting to Ukraine. We have had a lot of tension over North Korea, South Korea, just on the military side of it. Of course, we got China sitting out there. It's going to be ready to go almost any time on that. They're going to do it at the right time when they have the best chance. But we got China and Taiwan. We got the whole Middle East right now that's blowing up. We have the stock market that it's still doing okay, but there's a lot of red flags. We got the economy that is not doing that good, and we got a lot of red flags. everybody is not afraid to come out and talk about a recession, the big R word. Everything was avoidable. Inflation was transitory. Yeah, the whole Jerome Powell and Fed chair, that's a whole shit show. But the economy's not doing good, and it's only going to get worse. We have a president now that's trying to annex Greenland, the Panama Canal, all these different things. We have the tariff wars that are going on. The latest one I heard is he said, screw it, let's tariff the whole world. Forget about Mexico and Canada and Russia and stuff like that. Everybody gets tariffs. We have some very dramatic, big decisions happening in our country right now that are going to affect us. No doubt about it. You, me, everybody, the politicians, it's going to affect economically and financially. We have Iran pushing to get nukes. I personally think, as you know, they already have them, but this is the whole thing. We're about to go to a major war with Iran. Like I said in a couple videos ago, it ain't Iraq. We walked all over Iraq. This is going to be a real war. We have a lot of stuff going on. We have an economic war starting up with China. China can shut everything down. We got news anchors talking about grid down situations and possible losing power because they've done everything short of telling everybody in the world exactly what transistor substations need hit. They're like, oh, we got 9, just look for those 9. My point is, since COVID, since the point that I decided to prep, a lot of shit's gone on. I mean, the whole Biden thing, the Hunter Biden thing, Russia, the scandals, Trump, Obama, trans bathrooms with Obama, and anybody can use any bathroom, and oh, that whole shit show started up. Life was pretty good before 2000. Before the craziness started. Really, it probably started in like 2008, but still, up till that point, everything was pretty good. And I thought it was bad during COVID. And now I can kind of sit back and look at my buddy that I used to make fun of as a prepper. He was prepping for martial law. He was prepping for a government lockdown on the civilians of the United States. Now that could still happen. It probably will happen, actually. And I just thought he was nuts to think of, he thinks that tanks are going to come rolling down the street out in the country to take your shit and all this kind of stuff. But it's like, yeah, he wasn't that far off. But he's been prepping his whole life. I think since the 70s, if I remember right. That was a long time ago. But yeah, he was prepping for a long time, 30, 40 years or something like that. So he's been on the bandwagon for a long time, and he hasn't cashed in on his ideology yet. But I've talked to him recently. Yes, he kicked me out of his circle. Yes, I am not part of the preparation plans. But yes, we're still friends. We can still be human and manly enough to put our differences aside, laugh about it, and still keep in touch. That's what life's about. It's not about the petty things. Don't sweat the petty things. Don't pet the sweaty things either. But yeah, anyway, a lot's happened. And it kind of comes down to, do I feel that I'm making the right choice by being a prepper, by the preparedness mindset, by thinking about the uncertain future, questioning everything? Yeah, I do think it's been a good choice. And I don't think it's too late. If you're thinking about getting into prepping, if you're doing research right now and you're coming across all these different channels or websites or whichever way you get information, but obviously you're on YouTube if you're watching this, think about how different life was just back in 2020. It's back in 2019. Look at everything that's changed, and we still got a long ways to go. In fact, the party hasn't even begun yet. So if you're thinking about getting into prepping, it is definitely not too late. Right now is still the good times. Right now, you can still go to Walmart, you can still stock up on things. You can still go in there and buy the whole outdoor section and be pretty good to go on the survival side of it. You can go hit the canned food, stock up, you're good on the food side. You know, there's still a lot of stuff you can do. There's still a lot of stuff you can learn. And if you are a prepper and you have been doing this for a while, I know I got people that watch my channel that has been a prepper for a long time. You know, there's plenty of you guys out there. Did you make the right choice? Do you feel that you made the right choice? I bet you did. Because all the stuff that's going on, it's all validating the whole prepper mindset. And I think the rest of the world is starting to agree with that. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting into it, start the journey. If you're into it, keep it up, refine your skills, keep making it better and better. And unfortunately, one day we're going to have to cash in on this self-insurance policy that we're giving ourselves. So keep on prepping. I'll leave it with that. Hope everybody has a good day. I will talk to you guys soon. Till next time, peace.